Welcome to the Broken Sun. Hey folks, it's Matt here. Just letting you know that due to some scheduling issues, we'll be entering a hiatus from this point until most likely the end of August, beginning of September. Hopefully this isn't too big of an issue for all of you. We just aren't able to meet up together due to real life issues and obligations, and we're going to get back on track as soon as possible. But until we can, this will be the last you hear from us, so enjoy, and we will be back. Welcome back, everyone, to Specters of a Broken Sun, a Stories of a Broken Sun season. This season, we are following the crew of the Probable Cause and their unlikely adventures in Scum and Villainy, a forged-in-the-dark role-playing game by Stras, Acimovic, and Leboef-Little, available from Evil Hat Press. Productions is the word that I meant to say there. Evil Hat Productions, which is a printing press. Now then, we are doing downtime. When last we left off, we did your heat, and I think our next step is going to be entanglements. But before we get entangled too much with the game rules, let's talk about who's here. So let's go around and introduce all of the players. Let's start with Mike.
Hi, everyone. It's Mike Blood. I go by Good Sir Blood on Twitter, and for the purposes of Season 2, I play Slip.
Indeed. And we've also got Velvet with us today.
Howdy, folks. I am Velvet Divine. You can find me on the interwebs at OG Brown Sugar, and I am playing Augustus, the moral compass of the group.
And finally, we are joined by Keekers.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keekers. I play CD, the lovable, useless mortician.
Oh, you shouldn't say that about yourself. Or your character shouldn't say that about themselves.
Well, ineffective? I don't know. Not completely useless.
Everyone has an off day when they get ganged up on by a bunch of goons.
Yeah, you did have a run-in with some goons.
Yeah, anyway, to finish that, I'm also known as Be a Space Cat on different interweb websites. And yeah, time to deal with the fallout of getting beat up by a bunch of goons.
And I'm Matt. I also go by ARP sometimes. You can find me at YCaliber on Twitter. I use he, him pronouns, and you can follow the show if you wish at Broken Sun RPG. I am your friendly guide here on Stories of a Broken Sun. So we did our, we did our heat. So next step is entanglements. So let's take a look at our entanglements. We're still at wanted level 0. Thank goodness for that. Haven't quite gotten to the point where you're wanted yet. So we roll on the wanted 0 chart. I'm just going to roll here for this. 2 on the entanglements chart. Unquiet Black. This one. Okay.
The other name for Unquiet Black is known as a loud black cat that will not shut up.
Something you may have some experience with in your home.
Exactly.
Unquiet Black. A creature finds its way on board. Acquire the services of a mystic or exterminator to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself.
It is a black cat.
We will find out.
Named Derek, that I'm looking at right now.
So as you are completing your upkeep on the ship, do you take that to the junkyard to get the Probable Cause serviced, or do you have somewhere else you go?
The Probable Cause deserves to be maintenanced at a junkyard.
Well, okay, so at the junkyard, as you are getting your maintenance done, somewhat grudgingly, because they're a little bit pissed off at you right now, but money is money, creds are creds. As you leave, Terry starts acting a little bit more strange than usual. I was going to say strange, but I mean, they're already a very strange being. So through a series of diagnostics, you find out that Terry has picked up a virus. There's some malware, what's been uploaded somehow onto your AI. And Terry is starting off with just like Max Headroom style stuttering speech. Like, I'm not feeling well so good. right now.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's the worst. I hate it.
And it keeps getting worse from there, and you start getting locked out of systems one by one. You're going to need to find a way to deal with this malware before it overtakes your systems entirely. In this case, it says a mystic or exterminator, but I mean, you have a mystic on crew. An exterminator might be someone, a contact of yours, or you could acquire an asset to get assistance there.
What if Slip tried to write a brute force program to try to keep at least contain the malware before we can zap it out of?
You can certainly give that a try.
Yeah, I think I'd like to try to write a program that'll stop it from self-propagating.
Okay.
I was hoping that Slip was going to go full, is his name John Coffey from the Green Mile, putting the hand on it and sucking out all the bad and then
swallowing all the bees.
Screaming it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spitting all the bees back.
Like televangelist style, just smack Terry on the forehead and exercise it.
Yep, I'll use my internet hands, smack Terry. Out, dude.
Okay.
Oh, CD would get in on that action.
So they have magnitude. So this is not the most powerful malware that's ever existed. It's not quite clear how this ended up in Terry's system. Maybe something for you to investigate later if necessary, but maybe somebody forgot to, set up a whitelist properly or just got caught in the wrong filter. All right. So we use a effect, magnitude-based fortune roll. All right. Oh, I don't need to roll anything more here. All right. So you're going to program a brute force hack to attempt to remove this thing from Terry's systems. Is that what you're saying?
That's my hope.
Okay. What type of action do you want to use to do that?
At first I was thinking rig, but hack makes the most sense, I think, in this case, because I'm not doing anything physical. I'm literally writing a program.
Yeah, when you hack, you breach the security systems of computers or override their controls, which makes sense.
Yeah. I don't have any dots in it, but we're going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. So what tools does Slip use to write this program? Is this something that is in a specific language or on one of their workstations? Where are you writing this, seeing as Terry is compromised?
I think I start writing this on like a personal tablet, I think. I have hacking tools under my items, actually, which is probably how I'm doing it.
All right. Okay. So let's see here. We want to... How would we roll this? I would say that this is risky, and you're looking at standard effects. So let's give it a shot then with your roll of your hack.
We haven't healed any stress at all, have we?
We haven't gotten to that part of downtime.
Perfect. Let's hope nothing goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 2, everyone.
Okay. All right. So you are able to use this tablet, your hacking tools, to write this program. And I guess you plug it in R2-D2 style into one of the ports in the probable cause. The program runs and it functions properly. You're able to remove as much of the malware as you can find. You can clean up as much of it as possible. The downside, however, is that as soon as you unplug this device from the probable cause, you see that it is essentially trashed. So your hacking tools are not going to be available for you on your next mission.
I hope we don't need those.
I hope not.
Let me write a note for that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, that tablet is it's just like it's haunted now. Don't open it. Don't turn it on. Don't do anything with it. Terry says, thank you so much, Slip. I was very uncomfortable. I was beginning to feel like I was a fox in a hen house. Only I thought what they were hens, but the hens were dinosaurs.
Terry, what?
I may be experiencing some residual effects of the malware. Don't mind me.
Yeah, you let me know if we ever need to rewrite that whitelist, okay?
I'll see where the problem came from, and I'll alert you as soon as I can. I've already dispatched an agent.
All right. Perfect.
Actually, this reminds me of one time I had this dream where, instead of cultivating chickens, we had cultivated little velociraptors and used their eggs as food.
You dream?
This was a while ago.
Oh.
I still have my dream journal.
Must be a comforting thing to look back on.
Can I cross off dream journal on the bingo board?
Almost got bingo, boys.
All right. Downtime. Between jobs, you may pursue 2 downtime activities, attending to personal needs and side projects. If you're at war, you only get 1 activity. You're not at war yet.
Yet.
You may take additional actions by spending 1 cred for each extra action. You also recover all of your armor uses. For any downtime roll, you can add +1 dice to the roll if you get help from a friend or contact. After the roll, you may increase the result level by 1 for each cred that you spend by hiring assistants, paying a bribe, etc. A 1 to 3 result thus becomes a 4 to 5, a 4 to 5 becomes a 6, and a 6 becomes a critical. As a reminder, your downtime actions are acquire asset, craft, indulge vice, lay low, long-term project, recover, repair, and train. You're all keeping track of your XP, right? Has anybody leveled up?
Oh, I haven't. I haven't done my my XP playbook since we started. Actually,
that's something you should probably look at just to make sure.
Yeah, you've got some points. I haven't really done much on mine.
I know that I got a few, but I need to do the same thing. Look at that playbook.
Mm-hmm. So we had the end of a session before we started this. So if you all want to open your playbooks, your character sheets, and scroll down to playbook advancement, we can do a little look over of that and make sure that we're keeping track of that XP each session as well. So for example, in slips, it notes every time you roll a desperate action, mark XP in that attribute. So that's something I think we've all been tracking.
Yep.
And then below that, it says at the end of each session, for each item below, mark 1 XP in your playbook or an attribute, or 2 XP if that item occurred multiple times. So for the Mystic, it says you address a tough challenge with wisdom or the way, you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, or you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session. So did Slip address a tough challenge with wisdom or the way in the last session?
I dominated a tank with my weird mind powers.
Okay, makes sense to me. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
The previous session, I tried to foment a civilian revolution.
Did we not do XP that time? Okay, well, yeah, you can mark that then. And you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
Not as of yet.
Okay. So mark down the XP you got there. How are you coming towards your level up?
I have 2 XP.
Good. And for Augustus, so you're keeping track of your desperate actions. Okay, you addressed a tough challenge with deception or influence.
I lied.
Session 2 with
all
the
the
tank.
time.
Was there a tough challenge? Did you use your deception or your influence when you were, for example, dealing with the tank or with what was the name of that organization you ended up
Nimbus
tipping
Aerospace.
off?
I did try to
Right.
BS our way out.
Okay. It doesn't say you succeeded, so as long as you addressed it in that way, you can.
If I
mark
addressed
XP
it,
for
I did
that.
not succeed.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I have just keeping up my philanthropist con.
Did you do that in the session with the tank?
I tried not at least not the philanthropist action, but I did try to be sneaky and try to get the cult to be like, hey, big picture stuff.
Sure. And you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
Not yet, but night is young.
I don't think we had as much of that yet.
We'll get there.
All right. And CD on your sheet.
Yes.
You addressed a tough challenge with insight or compassion.
I think I did because of the fact that CD went back because of their, previous session, CD saved Slip or helped try to get Slip out of there. So I would consider that compassion. So I'll mark that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time, CD went back to try to close the deal that we had already been obligated to.
I don't know if that was the tough challenge, though. Like the actual dealing with the challenge. That was your motivation, which might be you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Yeah, so I guess I'll mark that as that.
And did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during the session?
I got traumatized, so I got beat up a lot.
You didn't hit your trauma, you just got beat up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true, but...
Maybe not that one, though.
Yeah, not that one, but okay, I'm up to 3 now. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, so we were in the midst of downtime actions. So you get 2 actions, depending on personal needs and side projects. Does anyone have an action they want to do for your downtime?
I would like to indulge my vice.
Okay, what's that going to look like this time?
I think that last time Slip tried to calm down by just release some tension by reminding themselves why they hate specifically Whiskey Tango and the structure at large by watching interviews and reading up on his space wiki.
Yeah.
But I think this time Slip is going to create a dummy account on Space Wiki and just start reroute his IP or their IP so no one could track it potentially, and just start rewriting Whiskey Tango's, start removing the whitewashing of his career.
Okay. So let's get to work on that. So roll dice equal to your lowest attribute, which is Insight, I believe. You have 1 dot in that. So you roll a 1d. Actually, there's just an Indulge Vice button, as I recall.
Well, I rolled a 5.
Okay.
I can also press the Indulge Vice button if you'd like.
No, that's all right. You rolled 5. We're not going to take that away from you. So that means you clear 5 stress, which is pretty good.
I feel great and surely did nothing that will come back to haunt me.
No, you go through. You've got some good, what's the word I'm looking for? Anonymity, good security. Everything is fine there. And is Whiskey Tango he, him, or they, them?
Whiskey Tango was he, him, I believe.
All right. Okay, and I guess we'll go around. Who else has got an action they want to do?
I would like to also work on stress and so indulge my vice.
Okay. What do you do to indulge your vice this time, CD?
CD is going to take a lot of the stuff they feel like they can part with, and they're going to go to the big hole that was blown into the station and dump it out that hole as an offering to the displeased spirits.
Okay. Is this part of your spring cleaning, your mandatory downsizing?
Yes, that's part of it, but also because of the fact that CD is convinced they are cursed and they're stressed out, so they are appeasing these things, these beings.
Okay. Click your Indulge Vice button. Let's see what happens. 6. Very nice.
Oh no.
Well,
oh boy.
It's actually not very nice.
Oh boy.
It's actually not great.
I overindulged. CD has.
You've overindulged.
CD has
thrown
too
himself
much
out of the station.
You played yourself. Okay. So, for overindulgence, you make a bad call due to your vice in acquiring it or while under its influence. And there's rash action, reduce your stash by 4 or take 2 debt. Big talk, brag about your exploits and take +2 heat. Or lost, you play a different character until this one returns from their vendor.
I love that one.
I mean, oh gosh, this is hard because it's like I don't need more heat. I guess I'm gonna take less load.
What's less load?
Was that the first one or?
Oh, less you lose.
Rash, you lose money, or you go into debt.
Oh, right. Sorry, I got confused there.
I'm not sure how much stash you all have right now.
2 marked for me personally.
Yeah, so you don't have enough stash for that. So if you pick that option, you would have to go into debt.
How much money are we supposed to have at this point?
It's marked on the ship.
I mean, part of me is just like, what if I just played another character? That'd be hard, though. Am I allowed to play another character?
We'll roll one up right now.
Course. You can always make a character that you can be your backup character. You could play one of your contacts as a PC for a bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, play YOLO Swaggins.
I would love.
Yeah, you could have another character that's attached to this crew in some way that you can play for a while, or a mercenary that gets hired on, or something like that. There are lots of options here. Someone from another crew who gets assigned while you're shorthanded here.
Yeah, I think that we might just have to say goodbye to CD for a little bit, I guess. But like story-wise, how does this make sense? Because all that CD was doing was literally throwing stuff off the side of this hole. How does one...
So there are a couple of options.
Yeah.
CD gets lost on the way to the hole. CD gets lost on the way back from the hole. CD falls out of the hole. CD gets stuck in their apartment because they've been buried under an avalanche of stuff.
I think that one might be the one we go with.
Okay.
CD is stuck.
It's just an episode of Hoarders gone horribly, horribly wrong, and no one calls to check up on you for weeks.
Of course.
No,
Poor CD is stuck. It's not necessarily weeks. It's just like until a next session or whenever you decide they come back.
Well, I think that it's more likely that CD is dealing with court issues, actually.
It could be that as well. There are lots of reasons why CD could disappear.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out what that is. But when you return from overindulging, I believe all your stress is going to be cleared.
Yeah, I
anyway.
Cleared it off. Now, is it okay if I do my next action as CD and just say
CD still gets 2 actions, so we may as well get that taken care of.
Yeah, before that, this happened before CD has to deal with getting buried under all this stuff and then having to go to court. Recovery.
Okay.
CD, I would love to recover a little bit because I got a couple harm, and I want this downtime, like this recovery, to be CD, like getting repaired or whatever. And while this is happening, they're just making all these paper tanks to give to Terry because they found out about the failure of the first mission or the other mission.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to make it up to them.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what's going on with overindulge here. Well, I don't have all the information. Anyway, when you're back, I think it's just all your stress is cleared. There was something else, but I can't remember exactly what it was. So, recovery is the other roll you wanted to do? Okay. Remove all level 1 harm. Remove, let's see, 0 crewmate's doctor ability. Okay. So you roll, it can be your doctor ability or someone else's doctor ability, which is, let's see here.
I'm the doctor.
You've got 2 in doctor. So you can roll that.
Sid?
Yeah, we'll get that back in just a moment. All right, so level 1 harm, so just take cramped away. You're doing okay there, the cramp's gone. And we roll 2d6 and advance your healing clock based on the results from your 2d6. So you can just do /roll 2d6, or you can roll doctor as just a fortune roll there, or controlled, whatever. Okay, so 5. So in this case, you advance your healing clock by 2. All right, who else has got downtime actions? Augustus, you haven't had one yet?
No, I would like to indulge my vice. It's no bonus die for indulging vice, right?
I think you can, for any downtime action, you can get a bonus die if you do it with someone else on the crew or a contact. That's my understanding. It says, for any downtime roll, add 1d to the roll if you get help from a friend or contact. So if you can say how a friend or contact is helping you indulge your vice, then you can add a die to it.
No, you know what? I'm pretty stressed. This is a solo thing.
Okay. So how is Augustus indulging their vice today?
I'm going to lock myself in my office, don my spooky gauntlet, think of all the people I don't like, and snap my fingers.
All right. Unfortunately, you do only recover 2 stress.
That's what you get for being a capitalist.
I mean, you can indulge your vice again. You can do a downtime action more than once. It would just be, that would be your second downtime action.
And you're not in any danger of overindulging, considering where you're at.
Yeah, I think I'll do that again. And I get an extra thing to gain assets anyway because of my respectability.
That's true. Okay, let's give it one more try. What's Augustus doing for the second time they go to indulge their vice?
Not that they would ever admit to this, but they are a fan of a certain magical world, say of wizarding and witchery. So maybe they're just going to try to cast spells under a sandbox to figure out what it does.
Okay, we'll see what's going on in the magical world of Barry Fletcher.
Barry Fletcher.
And the box of sadness. All right.
Excuse me a moment.
I would read that.
I love it. I love it.
You do heal 2 more stress. So the sad box, the reason you don't heal any more stress is that as you are just poking around on it, it just keeps making you feel sad. So it's not really relaxing. It's just you just feel sad. Like you want to cry, but you don't have tear ducts. You're a robot. And that makes you more sad. And it's just
a robot.
You're just sad.
Okay, can we get a box of sadness?
This is the worst
t-shirt?
Barry Fletcher and the box of sadness.
The box of sadness.
A broken sun story.
Now we have to actually write these books.
I love this. I love that we take these 2 different sides of it where I'm like, I want a t-shirt, and Matt and Mike, you're like, this is horrible. My life is just a box of sadness sometimes.
My mom always said, "Laugh is like a box of sadness."
No,
You never know what's gonna make you cry.
sir. You never know what's gonna make you cry.
I'm turning red.
My face hurts from how much you people have been making me giggle today.
Oh,
Maybe that's why Forrest was running. He was running away from the box of sadness.
There you go.
that's it.
Run! Get away from Augustus and their creepy glove.
Uh, run, Forrest, run.
Yeah, from the very famous Academy Award nominated movie, Thicket Bump. All right,
You're on fire, Art. You're on fire with these names.
they're all very bad.
Astounded.
Oh, fan art of Box of Sadness.
I want to see that.
I will make it. I will make a Box of Sadness. It's the last thing I do.
So we open the box of sadness, and inside we see Slip's second downtime action, which is
Training. I train my resolve.
okay. What does that look like?
I go into my quarters on the probable cause because I do not have any other property or home,
Mhm.
and I start reaching out into just like very ancillary systems on the probable cause. I start seeing what I can manipulate with just my mind powers, and then I start interacting with more complex subsystems and whatnot until I can like make lights flicker or turn off whole parts of my room or the ship.
Hmm.
And I tell Terry and everyone else that I'm going to try to do this, but
I was going to say, what does Terry think of that?
Still down there, Poltergeist.
I make sure it's okay. I tell Terry that I'm not going to turn them off ever.
Terry isolates the systems in your quarters from the rest of the ship.
Perfect.
So that,
that's exactly what I would hope for.
A little Faraday cage for you.
Where I can just flex.
All kinds of spooky things be happening in there. Lights flickering, cupboards opening and closing, door panels,
Paneling.
I haunt my own room with my own mind. Perhaps
very
you could
spooky.
say I make my own box of sadness.
I wish CD was here. They'd love it.
CD is also underneath a box of sadness.
Yep.
Also known as a sarcophagus.
Oh, there you go. The mummy's curse.
Okay. What else would you like to do during downtime?
I'm out of actions.
Yeah, you can still do stuff.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just like, I really wanted CD to talk to Terry, that you can do what you want to do first.
Sure. Velvet, do you know what you want to do with your third action?
I was gonna just acquire assets.
Okay, word.
What kind of asset do you want? Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. That's absolutely fine. That gives me time to think of something.
Okay, what type of asset would you like to acquire? A contractor, a vehicle, or legal ship module, a special item, or a set of common items, or a service?
I think a special item. Maybe find a happy box to counteract all this sad boxness.
Okay. Now, I believe you looked for something last time you had downtime, and we didn't have much luck at the junkyard. Let's see here. So, temporary use of something. So, you want to get somebody to loan it for you or to put it on standby for use in the future. So, you're looking for something that will counteract sadness in box form.
Or, like another box of weird power.
Like a PS4 is what I'm thinking, basically.
I think if you're looking for that, I'm not sure if that would be a special item or if that would be the type of thing you'd need to do a job to look for. Like a special item might be something along the lines of a rocket launcher or a jetpack, something that would be like not common, but something that would be more accessible in the world as opposed to looking for like a hidden treasure type thing. That might be something that would require a quest or a job to discover. You can maybe get some type of item that might, maybe a contractor that could help you look for that while you're on your next job.
Yeah, I'll find the contractor.
Okay. So let's see who shows up.
I know somebody who's into weird stuff.
All right. So you acquire the services of Naomi Castiglione. Naomi Castiglione refers to herself as a treasure hunter, and she is sort of a well-known mercenary, and she specializes in finding unusual artifacts, whether they're stuff that's been smuggled up from the surface or smuggled out of surface, like when people are sent up here, usually they have things with them. So sometimes those things get smuggled out of the government's coffers, or the offerings and stuff that get put on the shrines down on the surface. Some things get smuggled out of there. And also there's just weird stuff lying around the battle station from the days of conflict, from the emergency, from the mistake, all that. So there's stuff here, and Naomi makes it her job to track it down. So what does Naomi look like when you meet her in the sim?
She's got a purple undercut.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty tan, and she's got like a big face tattoo of something eerily similar to, but legally distinct, Jigglypuff.
And that's on her face?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you mean Kirby?
Legally distinct from Kirby as well. We'll call them Gumboi.
Gumboi. Oh, I want a Gumboi.
Gumboi. All right. So a tattoo of Gumboi. Is it like on her cheek, or is it over like half of her face, forehead? Like where on her face is this?
Cheek.
Okay. Left or right?
Right.
This will be very important someday, I assure you.
When one of us starts playing Naomi Castiglione and has to act out the intensity of her love for Gumboi.
I mean, if anyone ever tries to impersonate her, we just gotta make sure Gumboy's on the right side of her face.
Just imagine, like,
we blew right past including her in our team and went straight to impersonating a person.
I mean, I could play her if this is what we want, but I was thinking I would stick to Stitch, but I don't know.
Yes. Gumboi from Satchel Folk. Gotta acquire everyone.
Oh, Matt. all of my mind's running rampant.
How many Satchel Folk are there, do you think? 700 at this point? 800?
That is the perfect...
There must be like thousands of Satchel Folk.
Yeah, I mean, this far in the future, there must be. Oh, gosh.
We've got Satchelmon Go.
Satchelmon Go, yeah. Satchel Folk. Satchelmon is too close.
At least like 20% of the whole simulation is just devoted to Satchel Folk.
Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining them.
Okay, we can talk about Satchel Folk later.
That's going to be for the after stream. Be sure to check in for the after stream when we talk about the deepest lore of Satchel Folk.
Oh gosh.
for 7 hours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I'm so ready. I love Satchel Folk already.
Oh, I know.
That can be our extra life game this year. It'll be Satchel Folk.
Satchel Folk trainers. Oh my god.
Yeah, we could just
trainers
use
is already branded. So Satchel Folk ranchers.
There you go. No, I think that's because Monster Rancher.
Oh, darn it.
Collector?
Satchel Folk Wrangler.
Satchel Folk Keepers.
Yeah, that works.
No, collectors sounds more capitalist. Satchel Folk Collectors.
We can just hack the Pokemon RPG tabletop thing.
Well, I don't know that word you just said.
I am never going to even attempt to run that system. It is a nightmare.
I've heard tell, but I so want to run it. I so want to play a game.
What if we converted 5th edition to run Satchel Folk RPG?
Yeah, we can do
instead?
that.
Then I'd have to play 5th edition.
And I really can't. I can't do that.
Okay. Anyway.
I need to find a sketch pad.
So you meet up with Naomi Castiglione in the sim in a Satchel Folk training area. So this is where she spends her downtime, and she's meeting with you. It's like the Safari Zone kind of thing. This is like full VR Satchel Folk experience that you're meeting her in. And yeah, you're sitting there. There's some NPCs around, and you can see some Satchel Folk crawling about.
I like capris. They're comfy and easy to wear.
Yeah, just saying the most inane nonsense as you come near them. I only collect bug Satchel Folk. They're the squirmiest.
Because you're a nerd. Shut up. Don't you ever speak again.
I love climbing. That's why I only collect rock Satchel Folk. Okay, so they're all there. And Naomi says, I understand you're looking for something a little unusual.
Almost as unusual as a Chinese Satchel Folk.
Well, we all know the legends of those haunted Satchel Folk cartridges from China, but I'm not sure I can lay my hands on one of those, if that's what you're looking for.
I was just setting the bar so you knew the stakes.
I understand. So this will be a big job.
Absolutely.
All right. What is it that you need me to find?
Something like this, and I'll show some very vague I guess maybe either blueprint or description of the box I currently have.
Her eyebrows shoot up, and she says, "Oh my, this looks like old technology. I might have a few lines on this. I'll see what I can find. We'll meet back here in a week."
Does a rock statue folk prefer dry climates?
You know it. She winks, and she does that really cool way of standing up, like her legs are crossed one way, and then like she uncrosses her legs and like spins as she stands. You've seen this in like movies and stuff. And she's like, whoosh, stands, and her like hair flies out a little bit behind her. There are sparkles for sure, because this is a Satchel Folk VR simulation experience. And she walks off and says, "See you around." So I'll start a clock for that. Is this Gumboi that you've drawn
Yes.
for us, Keekers?
Yes, that's Gumboi.
All right. Is that a tongue?
Yes, it's tongue.
Gumboi, Matt. What's wrong with you? That's Gumboi. Look at him. You don't love him?
Of course, we all love Gumboi.
We've seen Gumboi. Is he on Zoom?
Detective Gumboi.
Gumboi's on Zoom. We would all die for Gumboi.
I would die for Gumboi today.
My perfect child, Gumboi.
Can confirm with that for Gumboi.
I think this is the best thing I've ever drawn.
I'm sorry. I know this is a podcast, but everyone is missing out on Gumboi's perfection.
Looks like a jelly bean. Are there different flavored Gumbois?
Whoa. You mean jelly beans look like Gumboi?
Excuse me, I forgot. Gumboi is the OG.
Yeah, there's regular Satchel Folk, and of course there are the ultra rare evanescent Satchel Folk, and so they come in different flavors for sure when they're Gumbois.
Bert's every flavored Gumboi.
I'm gonna have to scan him tonight.
I think you will.
You have to. We have to start the merch line immediately.
Okay. So CD wanted to talk to Terry.
Yeah.
Cool.
The last 10 minutes totally didn't happen, and everything's normal. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just rewind.
So CD has recovered some of their damage, and they have come in with like a basket with these odd paper-shaped things. They come in and they're like, "Oh, hi, Terry. I heard about how that other mission didn't really go too well, so I thought I might help make up for it." And they just kind of dump this whole basket of paper, like origami tanks, on a table, varying sizes, varying paper types with patterns on it. Some of them are like a metallic paper.
Terry says, "I'm deeply touched by your thoughtfulness, CD. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I cannot inhabit paper, but I understand that this is a gesture of goodwill, and I will take it in that spirit and appreciate it and understand that it is a way that the two of us are growing closer together as comrades in this ongoing struggle.
Fight the
Someday,
power.
that's exactly right. Someday, perhaps, these paper tanks will only come to represent the power of our teamwork as we work together to destroy the unjust lands of the sun."
Oh, I know what we can do. We can get like a little map and put it on this table of the sun and have them represent different things.
It's a fantastic idea. Let me pull that up. And Terry turns the table into a holographic surface, and it shows an orb because the sun is, an orb. And Terry takes a moment and says, "I'm beginning to see an issue with this plan. Now, we'll have to do a projection map where we flatten it in multi-layer." And Terry trails off. They're trying to figure out how to make this work in a way that will be satisfying to them. So they seem to be occupied and appreciative of your gesture.
Okay, well, Terry, just FYI, I'm going to be gone for about a week or so because I have to go to court and deal with that. But I was able to get some options for everyone if y'all need someone else to fill in for me. Kind of hard to fill in for my odd shaped peg in this pegboard, but got a couple good people.
Oh, wonderful. Did you call Gumboi? He's my favorite.
I mean, are you talking about?
You know, Gumboi. And Terry projects a gigantic hologram of the satchel full of Gumboi.
I hate it.
And it says, Gumboi!
He's the best. I love Gumboi.
Gumboi!
He looks at it. It's like, I mean, I do have a contact that wears Gumboi on a T-shirt.
Marvelous. You know, Gumboi has the voice of an angel. Gumboi!
I can see that.
Well, back into the poke sphere with you, or the satchel sphere with you, Gumboi, Terry says, and the Gumboi disappears. That one's level 100.
Cool.
Off in the distance, you hear Slip go, wow!
Terry says, Slip gets it.
I don't even have Gumboi.
Oh dear. If I had more time, I'd try to help you fight like one of those, what are they called? Massive battle things where a bunch of people get together to, yeah. Unfortunately, duty calls. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this one's named Sheila. And
Sheila?
CD pointing to one of the tanks. And then...
Well, keep that in mind as I attempt to render the 3D as two-dimensional. This could take some processing power. I am not an artist.
Neither am I. But you're going to have to tell Gustus I said that so that they can mark that on their bingo card.
I'll make sure that information is conveyed. And you receive a chat notice, Augustus, on your tablet that says that CD invoked the name Sheila in reference to a tank, whatever that means. And then a shrug emoji, and then a tank emoji, and then a gif of Gumboi.
What color is Gumboi?
Flesh.
There's so many problems with that. Like, what color flesh? There's a lot
Gumboi.
of
It's not wrong.
Pink flesh.
Pink flesh.
It's in you.
Did y'all ever find one of those really old Crayola crayons that said flesh on them?
Yes. I used to eat them.
I found one once and I was just like, this is so creepy and also politically incorrect.
Just so wrong.
And then like, because I had only grown up with Peach. And then, it was one of those things kids were like, did you ever know that they did this? And it was like, and I'm getting wildly off topic.
Speaking of the topic, so we can start looking at potential things going on for your next scores. But before that, I need to roll some dice for clocks here. So if you're looking at these clocks and you're getting curious about what's going on with them, you can always do a job where you try to investigate it or try and find out, because those are just regular actions, or rather, you can try to investigate these clocks as part of your downtime by doing actions and telling me how that happens, and that can lead into a job. Alternately, I, of course, will have job options available for you as we go. So I'm not going to roll for all of these clocks while you're sitting here just staring into the middle distance, because that would be torturous, and only one person really has to suffer through the clock hell, and that's me, your friendly guide, Matt. But you can see all of them here.
Yeah, but it's always there, a gentle reminder.
The clocks tick, and these are where they were at the end of session 1, so they're going to be increasing soon. Tonight, probably. You can see there's Phoenix, Olympian Interior Design, and Larup all have clocks from that group. And Hull Patrol, Coleraine, Section Blue, HR, Sodality of Preservation, and Solar Free State all have clocks over there. Humble Investigations, the Junkyard, the Vile Lance, the Solar Workers Union, and the Resistance all have clocks over there. Of course, I know what these clocks are. You don't, unless you try and find out. But with that in mind, that's basically it for downtime. Is there anything else you wanted to do while you're here?
Is it... Oh, wait, no, because that would make sense. Never mind, sorry. I figured it out while I was saying it, which was just the person that will be hired or whatever going in on the next job with y'all.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out that character. We can work on that. We don't have to record that bit.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, we can work on that character together if you want, or whoever wants to stick around for that. But otherwise, that's going to be the end of the session, unless there's anything else anyone wants to do.
Just be known that someone wearing a Gumboi t-shirt gets a call from CD and kind of nods at the message that says, "Hey, can you help out my team for a bit because of my court dates?"
And the person nods, hangs up the phone, and
Grimly.
they open their closet and take out a leather jacket that also has a sequined Gumboi on the back.
Yes.
Okay, so if that's it,
I think I'm good. I've accomplished so much today.
We've established so much lore.
So much lore.
a lot of story adjacent lore has been established here in this downtime session. Okay, if that's it then, thank you all for joining me to tidy up the downtime from session 2. And next time we meet up, we're going to start on mission report 3. And I'll have some jobs for you, like Bosley, and you will take on one of them, and the world will move around you.
That's what we love.
And so until the next time, all the best.
All the best, folks. Thank you.
Space squids.
Space Squids.
Gumboi is live. Gumboi is live.
Yeah.